God says, your pending miracle has been approved, and this moment is not an accident. Right now, God wants to speak to your heart softly, gently, with love that knows no limits. If your eyes have been led to this message today, it's because heaven already sees what you've been going through. There is a miracle with your name on it, and it's already moving toward you. The ache you've been carrying in silence, the prayers you've whispered with tears in your eyes, the dreams you've held on to even when everything felt broken, God has heard it all. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't turned away. He's right here, ready to speak comfort into your soul. Type 1111 if you trust in God. There are moments when life feels like too much to bear, and everything inside of you just wants to give up. But even in those times, God has never let go of your hand. His love is steady, patient, and full of mercy. No matter how long you've been waiting, no matter how many nights you've spent wondering if God still sees you, the answer is yes. He sees every tear, every struggle, every hope buried deep in your chest. And now, something is shifting. A breakthrough is near. The kind of change that only heaven can bring is already being set in motion, and all God asks of you is to keep holding on, just a little longer. Sometimes, we feel we have to be perfect to receive anything from God. But that's not the truth. Jesus didn't come for the perfect. He came for the lost, the weary, the hurting. He came for those who have been misunderstood, overlooked, and broken. He came to show you that no matter what your past holds, your future can still be filled with light. Jesus wants to remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, and certainly not too far gone. There is healing in His presence, and that healing begins right now, in this very moment, as you allow your heart to listen to this gentle message. Type Amen if you believe. God wants to sit beside you today like a loving father would sit with a child who's been hurting. He wants to whisper into the quiet spaces of your heart and tell you, I've got this. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. You've been strong for so long, pushing through even when you didn't think you had the strength. But He wants you to know that you don't have to keep being strong on your own. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. It's okay to rest in Him. It's okay to lean on Him. It's okay to say, God, I can't do this without you, because He's already here, offering His hands, His arms, His heart. If you've ever felt like everyone moved on without you, or that the world forgot you in your hardest season, know this, God never moved. He never left. Even when you couldn't feel Him, He was still there, guarding you, guiding you, making a way where you couldn't see one. That job you lost, that relationship that fell apart, that moment that shattered your world, none of it surprised Him. He knows how to rebuild everything you thought was over. He knows how to breathe life into things that look dead. He brings beauty from ashes, and He's doing that for you now. Even when your prayers felt like whispers in the dark, God heard every word. He caught every tear. He has been collecting them, not as something to forget, but as something to honor, to redeem. Every prayer has weight in heaven. Every hope, no matter how small, matters to God. And now, that long-awaited miracle, the one you've been praying for, is being released. The answer may not come in the way you expect, but it will come in the way that will bless you more deeply than you ever imagined. You are loved more than you could ever comprehend. Not because of anything you've done, but because of who God is. His love is not earned, it's freely given. And He's pouring it over you right now like a warm blanket for your soul. You don't have to prove yourself to be worthy of it. You already are. Jesus gave His life not so you would have to struggle endlessly, but so you would know that you never have to walk through this life alone. His sacrifice was for your healing, your peace, your freedom, your joy. The weight you're carrying doesn't have to stay with you. Let it go now. Not by your own strength, but by surrendering it to the one who has the power to carry it for you. Let Jesus be your shelter. Let Him be the place where your heart finally breathes again. The burden that's been on your shoulders was never meant for you to hold alone. God has been waiting for you to place it in His hands. Not just the burden, but also the fear, the anxiety, the guilt, the shame, all of it can be released right now, and He will take it gently, never with judgment, always with love. And now, heaven is responding. The miracle that once felt far away has already been written into your story. Nothing is random in God's timing. Nothing is lost in His hands. The path you're on might have had many twists and painful turns, but it has still led you to this divine moment, where grace meets you exactly where you are. Type 222 if you feel God's presence. Sometimes, life tries to convince you that it's too late, that you've missed your chance, that maybe God forgot your name. But those are not His words. That is not His voice. God has not forgotten you. In fact, His eyes have never left you. He has walked with you through the fire, stood beside you in the storms, and carried you through the days when you didn't even have the strength to pray. The silence you felt was not His absence. It was His protection, His preparation, and His deep work in your heart. A powerful 7-second morning ritual, once hidden in CIA files, is resurfacing, and people are already seeing fast financial breakthroughs. It takes only seconds, yet activates a dormant wealth center in the brain most people never access. Click the link in the description and comments now. Access it before it disappears. There's a reason you didn't give up, even when everything in you wanted to. That wasn't just you being strong. That was God holding you together. That was His Spirit whispering to your soul, "Keep going. I'm not finished yet." And He truly isn't finished. What you're about to receive is going to heal more than you know. It won't just fix a problem, it will restore something deep inside you. It will remind you that God's promises are still alive, still true, and still written over your life. It's easy to feel unworthy when life keeps breaking your heart. It's easy to believe that God's love is for others, but not for you. But that is a lie that you no longer have to carry. Jesus didn't come for the ones who had it all figured out. He came for the ones who needed saving, the ones who felt forgotten, the ones whose hearts were cracked wide open by life. He came for you. And right now, He is speaking peace into the places where you've carried pain the longest. He's not ashamed of your brokenness. He's not distant from your tears. He is near, closer than your next breath. Type 555 to receive God's peace. You may not know how everything will unfold, and you don't need to. What you do need is the gentle reminder that God is in control. And He doesn't need the world to understand before He moves. Sometimes, He works quietly. Sometimes, He heals in silence. Sometimes, He begins His miracles in the dark, and when the light comes, everything changes in an instant. He's not delayed. He's not lost in the details. He's right on time. And what's coming will not only answer your prayers, it will exceed your expectations. God knows what you've lost. He knows what broke your spirit. He knows how you smiled on the outside while your heart was barely holding on. And He's not ignoring that. He is reaching for those wounds now. He is breathing life into those weary parts of your soul. The disappointment you've been carrying, He's lifting it from you. The fear that's been weighing on your chest, He's replacing it with peace. You don't have to understand how. You only need to be open. You only need to let go, and trust that God's love is stronger than anything that tried to break you. You've come through a lot. More than most people know. And it's time you stop apologizing for your scars. They are not signs of weakness, they are proof that you survived. They are reminders that God brought you through. Every trial, every loss, every heartbreak, you made it to the other side. Not because you had all the answers, but because you never walked alone. You were held, protected, and carried. And the same God who brought you this far is the same God who's about to bring the miracle you've been waiting for. It's okay if you're tired. It's okay if your faith has felt thin. What matters is that you're still here. You're still standing. You're still believing, even if it's only a little. God can work with that. Even the smallest seed of faith can move mountains when it's placed in His hands. He's not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to trust Him, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because that's where His power shows up the strongest, in the middle of our weakness. Let your heart rest for a moment. Breathe deeply, and feel the love of God wrap around you like a gentle embrace. Let it quiet the chaos. Let it still the fear. You don't have to fight alone anymore. God is stepping in. He's speaking into your storm. And the words He's speaking are filled with life, hope, and healing. He's calling you forward. Not in anger. Not in judgment. But in kindness. In compassion. In the same love that sent Jesus to the cross for you. You might not see the full picture just yet, and maybe everything still looks the same around you, but trust this, something has changed. A new chapter has already begun. The breakthrough is already on its way, and the chains that held you back are starting to fall, even if you can't hear them yet. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, and never unseen by God. Even on your loneliest days, when the silence felt deafening and the weight of everything made your heart sink, God was there. He was present in every tear you wiped away when no one was watching. He was near when your strength gave out and your heart whispered, "I can't do this anymore." And now, He is here, not to remind you of your failures, but to renew your faith, to restore what was lost, and to breathe new life into your weary soul. It's hard to understand why some seasons are filled with waiting and why some doors stay shut for so long. But God is not a God of delays, He is a God of perfect timing. What you thought was silence was actually God preparing the miracle, putting everything in its right place so that when it arrives, it will be complete, full of grace, and without sorrow. He's been protecting you from things you didn't even know could harm you. And now, because you kept holding on, even with trembling hands, He is honoring your endurance with a blessing that will touch every part of your life. You've carried burdens that no one else saw. You've smiled through pain and given your best when you had nothing left. You've kept loving, hoping, praying, even when it hurt. And none of that has gone unnoticed. God has watched every moment, and not one act of faith has been wasted. Your prayers have built something in the spiritual realm. They have built a foundation that now holds the weight of a coming miracle. It may have felt like nothing was happening, but everything was happening, in the unseen, in the places only God can reach. Type "yes" to affirm your faith in God's promises. A simple but powerful 7-second at-home ritual, it's hidden in CIA files for years, is now changing lives rapidly. Backed by neuroscience research, it can begin shifting your financial direction in just days. Click the link in the description and comments now and step into abundance today. The world may try to convince you to give up, to stop believing, to let go of what God promised. But deep inside, your spirit knows the truth. You were made for more than fear, more than struggle, more than hopelessness. You were made to walk in peace, in healing, in the light of God's love. That light is reaching you right now, warming the coldest parts of your heart, quieting the noise, and reminding you that you were never meant to figure everything out alone. God has already gone before you. The path is already prepared. When you feel too broken, too tired, or too far behind, remember that Jesus didn't choose the strongest or the richest or the most perfect. He chose the ones who were willing to trust. He chose the wounded, the humble, the willing. He still does. And He chooses you, right now, in this moment. Not because you have it all together, but because your heart is open. That's all God ever wanted, your heart, not your perfection. Your faith, not your performance. Your willingness to believe, even when belief comes with tears and shaking hands. The storm didn't break you, even though it tried. The losses didn't destroy you, even though they felt unbearable. The waiting didn't kill your hope, even if it dimmed your light for a while. You're still here, and that alone is a miracle. And because you are still here, God is not done with your story. There's more ahead. More joy. More peace. More grace. The things that once brought you to your knees in pain will one day bring you to your knees in gratitude. Healing is coming to your home. Peace is entering your heart in ways you haven't felt in years. The door that has been shut for so long is opening, not because you forced it, but because God declared it time. He is the one who opens doors that no one can shut, and when He says the season has changed, no power in this world can stop what He has set in motion. What's coming is not temporary relief, it's lasting transformation. It's the kind of blessing that overflows, touches others, and brings glory to the one who made it happen. It's okay if your faith isn't perfect. It's okay if some days you feel more fear than hope. God understands your heart. He's not looking for a flawless believer, He's looking for a heart that still turns toward him, even when the path is unclear. And you've done that. Again and again. That's why you're here. That's why this message found you. It's not just encouragement. It's confirmation. What you've been asking for, waiting for, and quietly believing for, it's coming. You don't need to be afraid anymore. You don't need to brace yourself for more bad news. You've been in survival mode for so long that you forgot what it feels like to truly breathe. But God is restoring that, too. He's restoring the laughter, the calm, the joy that rises for no reason other than knowing you're loved by Him. His love doesn't just rescue, it rebuilds. And the rebuilding has already started. God has been watching over you with a love that never sleeps. Every single second that you kept walking, even when your soul felt tired, was seen by Him. And now, the blessing that was held back for a time is being released. Your pending miracle is not pending anymore. It has already been declared. It has already been spoken into existence. And soon, it will show up right in front of you in ways that leave no room for doubt. Type 1919 to receive your miracle. There is something sacred about surviving seasons that tried to break you. Not everyone understands the strength it takes to keep trusting when your heart has been disappointed over and over again. But God understands. He has seen how you've fought to stay faithful. He knows you've smiled on days when your spirit was barely holding together. And He wants you to know, with all the gentleness of heaven, that your pain has not gone unnoticed. Not only does He see it, He is responding to it. This response isn't small. It's not a whisper. It's a wave. A flood of grace, favor, healing, and peace is already coming toward you. God doesn't forget the ones who stay close to Him in the valley. He doesn't ignore the ones who continue to pray, even when all they hear is silence. If you've ever wondered whether your devotion mattered, whether your small, fragile hope still carried weight in His heart, the answer is yes. Your faith has been precious to Him. It has moved heaven. It has stirred something beautiful in the heart of God. And now, what you've sown in tears will return to you in joy. The promise was never broken. It was simply preparing for the right moment to bloom. You have walked through fire, and yet here you are, still standing. Still breathing. Still choosing to believe that better days are possible. That strength is not human, it is divine. That endurance is not natural, it is the Holy Spirit working in you, sustaining you, holding you up when everything else was falling apart. And because you didn't give up, because you leaned on God even when you had questions, you are stepping into a season where you will not just survive, you will flourish. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. Jesus has never left your side. Even when you couldn't feel Him, even when your heart felt numb and your prayers felt like they were lost in the sky, He was holding you. He has been collecting every broken piece of your soul, not just to repair them, but to create something entirely new, something stronger, purer, deeper. The healing He brings isn't shallow. It doesn't put a bandage over wounds. It goes to the root. It restores what trauma tried to erase. It brings peace where chaos once ruled. What if wealth was never about luck, but a hidden brain signal buried in CIA files? This frequency is opening doors, attracting opportunities, and changing lives quickly. Thousands are already using it to attract wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brain wave today. Some of the people around you may never understand the depth of your journey, but Jesus does. He knows what it took for you to show up today. He knows how many nights you cried yourself to sleep but still got up and kept going. And now, He is sending comfort to you, not just as a feeling, but as a reality. The kind of comfort that changes the atmosphere of your life. The kind that doesn't depend on circumstances, but is rooted in the promise that God is with you, and He is for you. The pain you've experienced didn't come to stay, it came to pass. And now it's time to let go of the fear that things will never change. You don't need to prepare for disappointment anymore. You can start preparing for blessings. Prepare your heart for joy. Prepare your hands to receive what you once only dreamed of. God is not just repairing what was broken. He's doing something completely new. He's writing a story that will bring beauty out of the places where you once only knew heartache. This is the kind of blessing that touches every part of your life, your mind, your relationships, your health, your purpose. The kind of blessing that silences the lies that told you you were forgotten. The kind of blessing that will remind you that the wait was never empty. It was full of God's protection, His preparation, and His unwavering love. Nothing you went through was wasted. Every moment of pain will be answered with a greater purpose. You don't need to fear the future. You don't need to brace yourself for more loss. That season has passed. You've stepped into something new, even if your surroundings haven't changed yet. Your spirit knows it. Deep inside, there's a quiet shift. A breath of relief. A sense of peace that tells you, this is it. This is the moment things begin to change. Not because of luck. Not because of timing. But because God has decided it is time. There's a reason you didn't quit. There's a reason you kept going when everything inside you said stop. That reason is God. He carried you, even when you couldn't walk. He stood for you, even when you had no strength left. And now, He is lifting you into the very place you've prayed for. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't need to rush. You only need to rest in Him and keep walking in the direction of peace. Let go of guilt. Let go of shame. Let go of what you wish you had done differently. None of that can stop what God is doing now. His grace is bigger than your past. His mercy is stronger than your mistakes. You are not disqualified. You are not damaged beyond repair. You are chosen, loved, and being led into a season of favor that was designed specifically for you. The waiting, the tears, the confusion, the long nights, all of it has been gathered gently into His hands. And now, the answer that has felt delayed is being released. Not by force, not because you begged, but because your faith endured. Your miracle is no longer pending. It is coming with quiet footsteps, wrapped in peace, overflowing with grace, ready to fill the empty spaces you've carried for far too long. Type 2323 if you agree. God's love has never been based on how good you've been. It has never depended on how strong you've acted or how perfect your faith appeared. His love reaches for the broken, the bruised, the weary, and the wandering. His love finds you when you've been stuck in the same battle for years. It finds you when your voice is too tired to pray out loud. His love isn't afraid of your mess. It's not turned away by your questions or your doubts. It stays. It heals. It patiently waits with you. And then, when the time is right, it lifts you. This is that time. It's not some distant promise anymore. This is the season where what was once just a whisper in your spirit begins to take shape in front of your eyes. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to beg for it. You only have to believe that God, in His infinite mercy, has already begun to bring it to life. There's a calm beginning to settle into your soul, not because all your problems have disappeared, but because your heart is finally resting in the truth that God is in control. Type Amen if you believe. It's hard to hold on to faith when things keep breaking. When the same prayers keep going unanswered and the same storms keep circling back. But you didn't give up. You kept hoping. Maybe quietly. Maybe with tears. Maybe with shaking hands. But you didn't let go. And God noticed. He noticed your strength when you had every reason to collapse. He saw your love for Him, even when life didn't feel loving in return. And now, because you stayed the course, you are stepping into something new. Not just something better, something sacred. Something that will make sense of the broken pieces. Something that will prove His promise was never void. It was only delayed, because the blessing being prepared needed time to become what it was meant to be. Just like you. You needed time to become who you are today, not weaker, but wiser. Not fragile, but full of deep compassion. You've grown roots during your struggle. And now that you're planted, the fruit will come. God has been writing beauty into your story, even in the chapters that looked like defeat. Every unanswered prayer built the framework for something more fulfilling. Every loss prepared your heart to receive more than you had before. Every delay protected you from stepping into things before you were ready. You may not have seen it at the time, but God has been guarding your destiny with the same care that a shepherd watches over his flock. He has never taken His eyes off you. A 7-second at-home ritual, scientifically proven by neuroscience labs and hidden for decades in CIA files, is now public, and people are seeing money flow into their lives. Scientists say it activates a brain pathway linked to abundance. Click the link in the comments below before this knowledge disappears again. There's healing in the stillness of this moment. Let it sink in. Let it breathe into your tired heart. You don't have to keep proving your faith. You don't have to earn your miracle. You are not in competition with anyone. What God has for you is yours. It cannot be stolen, delayed forever, or taken away. What's meant for you will find you, because your name is written on it, and God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't misplace promises. There's a softness returning to your soul, the kind of softness that comes when the battle starts to end. You've been in survival mode for so long that you forgot what it felt like to relax, to dream again, to feel joy without fear. But joy is coming back. Not just a fleeting moment of happiness, but a deep, lasting peace that sits in your chest and says, "You're safe now." That's what God is doing. He's rebuilding the safety you lost, not in the world around you, but in the stillness of your spirit. What you're walking into isn't just a solution, it's a transformation. It's the kind of change that goes beyond physical needs. It will restore your trust. It will renew your passion. It will reignite your purpose. You've known what it's like to carry pain for years. Now you will know what it's like to carry peace. Not just because you deserve it, but because God promised it to His children, and He never goes back on His word. Let the walls around your heart begin to fall. Let the fear that has kept you from fully believing melt away. You don't need to guard yourself anymore from disappointment. This time, the blessing is real. This time, the joy will stay. This time, what God gives will not be taken. Because this miracle is rooted in His plan, not in the uncertainty of the world. And His plan always leads to life, to freedom, and to fulfillment. Every time you chose faith over fear, you built something. Every time you chose love over bitterness, you strengthened the foundation of your life. Every time you chose to pray instead of panic, even when nothing changed, heaven noticed. And now, all of that faith, all of those seeds, are blooming. Slowly, quietly, but surely, you are stepping into answered prayers. You may have felt forgotten by others, but heaven never took its eyes off you. There is something sacred about how you kept believing, even when your world was falling apart quietly behind your smile. And now, the miracle that has been forming behind the scenes is ready to step into your life. Type 2020 to claim miracles. You've prayed through pain, whispered hope into empty rooms, and held on when everything inside you was tempted to let go. It wasn't just strength that carried you. It was God. His hand has been beneath you all along, even when you couldn't feel it. He held your soul when you were exhausted. He covered your mind when the fear tried to take over. He stood beside you in the dark and shielded you when you didn't know what was ahead. And now, He is pouring into you a new hope. Not just a feeling, a real, living hope that breathes into every corner of your weary heart. There are blessings coming that won't just change your situation, they'll change how you see yourself. They'll remind you that you are chosen, valued, and loved beyond what words can express. You are not here by accident, and this moment is not coincidence. You're reading this because God is reaching for you. Not to scold you, not to correct you, but to remind you how deeply you are known, how fully you are loved, and how carefully your life has been guided even through the hardest seasons. The miracle you've been waiting for is not stuck, it's not forgotten, and it's not denied. It's being released at the exact time it will bless you most. That's who God is. He doesn't rush. He doesn't delay. He aligns. He prepares. And He promises. Your pending miracle, the one that has carried your hope through years of waiting, is now stepping forward. The approval has been spoken in the realm where time doesn't limit anything, and now it's coming into your life in real, tangible ways. You'll feel it. You'll see it. And most of all, you'll know it was God. Type 777 if you are ready to receive. You may not have had people around you who fully understood what you've been through. Maybe your pain wasn't visible. Maybe your strength was misunderstood. But God knows the full story. He knows what it cost you to keep going. He knows the inner battles no one else sees. And He's proud of you, not for being perfect, but for being real. For showing up. For staying kind. For refusing to give up when it would have been easier to walk away. He honors that kind of heart. And now, He's about to refresh it with more peace than you've ever known. The answer you're waiting on may not come wrapped the way you expected, but it will come dressed in the goodness of God. It will arrive not just when it's time, but when your heart is ready to receive it fully. God is not in the business of empty blessings. What He gives fills to overflow. What He releases brings deep, lasting joy. And that is what's heading your way now, not just a fix, but a fulfillment. God doesn't forget His promises. Not one. Even the ones you've let go of or buried because it hurt too much to keep waiting, He remembers them all. And He hasn't given up on any of them. What's ahead for you is more than a return to how things were. It's a restoration of what you lost, multiplied in ways that will humble your heart and make you fall to your knees in awe of His mercy. You will rise, not because life suddenly became easier, but because God is lifting you with His own hands. Even if your faith feels small right now, even if doubt still sits quietly beside your belief, it's okay. God can work with that. He can meet you where you are, not where you pretend to be. He never needed perfect faith, He only ever asked for a willing heart. And your heart, though tired, is still open. That's enough. That's all it takes for His presence to rush in and do what you could never do alone. A classified 7-second morning ritual, once buried in CIA files, is quietly transforming financial lives. In under 30 seconds, it helps shift the mind from scarcity to wealth, with many reporting surprise income and peace. Click the link in the comments below before the page is removed. You're not stepping into this next season by accident. You're stepping into it by grace. It's not because of who you know or what you've earned, it's because of who He is. Your name is still on His heart. Your cries have not been ignored. Heaven still leans in when you speak. And this time, the response is coming quickly. This time, the shift is already happening. This time, the wait will turn into worship. What you've been longing for is coming home to you. You may not know the path ahead, but you don't need to. You know the one leading you, and He has never failed. Not once. Even when the journey felt like a wilderness, He was watering your roots, preparing you for the bloom. And now, that season of growth in the shadows is giving way to sunlight. What's been hidden will be seen. What's been quiet will sing. What's been held back is about to pour forth like rain after a long drought. The ache you've carried has taught you how to lean on God like never before. And that dependence, that trust, it has built something unshakable in you. That's what the enemy couldn't destroy. That's what survived every storm. And now, with that same trust, you'll walk into open doors. You'll step into answered prayers. You'll feel peace where there used to be panic, strength where there used to be sorrow, joy where there used to be fear. But I saw it all. And I have not forgotten you. Your miracle, the one that has felt so far away, is already approved. It's already in motion. You don't need to search for it anymore. You only need to rest in the truth that it is coming, because I have said so. Type 111 if you trust in God. The storm that shook your soul didn't win. The pain that visited your life didn't destroy you. You are still here. Not because of your strength alone, but because I held you when you didn't know how to stand. I covered you when you were at your weakest. I spoke to your spirit when your mind was full of fear. And even now, I'm reminding you, this is not the end. This is a new beginning. The kind you didn't expect. The kind that comes softly, but changes everything. You may not have seen the answers you wanted in the time you hoped for, but that doesn't mean I wasn't working. Sometimes, the greatest miracles are the ones that take time to prepare. The ones that grow slowly in the dark before they blossom in the light. Your story has been growing. Your faith has been growing. And now, the blessing is ready to rise. You've waited long enough. The night is over. Morning is here. And with it comes the joy that only I can bring. I know how tired your heart has been. I know how hard it's been to believe for something better when everything kept falling apart. But child, listen, I am not limited by what surrounds you. I'm not restricted by your circumstances. I'm not late. I'm not distant. I am God. And when I speak, creation responds. When I declare a miracle over your life, no darkness can stop it. No fear can block it. And no delay can deny it. Type 888 if you're ready to receive His miracle. Let your soul rest for a moment. You've been carrying more than you needed to. You've been trying to figure out things that were never yours to solve. I never asked you to fix everything. I only asked you to trust me. And even in your worry, even in your weariness, you've still kept me in your heart. That's what matters. You haven't failed me. You've stayed close. And that closeness is what brought you to this point, the place where the weight begins to lift, and the miracle begins to unfold. You don't need a sign to know I'm near. Just close your eyes and breathe. I am in the quiet. I am in the stillness. I am here, with arms open, ready to carry what's been too heavy for you. You were never meant to do this alone. Every tear you've cried has been collected. Every prayer you've whispered has been heard. And not one of them will return empty. I have been preparing a blessing so full, so complete, that when it arrives, it will make sense of everything you've been through. There is peace on its way to your heart. The kind of peace that doesn't need answers, just presence. My presence. And that peace is already surrounding you. You may not feel it all at once, but it's there. Like morning light creeping into a dark room, it will grow brighter with each passing day. Soon, the heaviness will turn to hope. The fear will turn into faith. And your sorrow will be exchanged for joy, not temporary joy, but the kind that stays. I am healing places in you that haven't been touched in years. Wounds that felt too deep to speak of, hurts that were buried beneath survival, I am reaching them now. Not to expose your pain, but to bring peace to it. Not to remind you of what happened, but to show you what's being restored. I work from the inside out. And what I'm building in your heart will overflow into every part of your life. You will see things change around you, yes, open doors, new opportunities, answered prayers. But more than that, you will see yourself differently. You'll begin to understand that you are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are beloved. You are redeemed. You are being led by a God who knows exactly what He's doing, even when you don't understand. And the waiting wasn't punishment. It was preparation. I had to teach you how to trust me deeper. I had to strengthen your roots before I could grow the fruit. Because the blessing I'm giving you isn't just for a moment. It's for a lifetime. It's not shallow. It's not fragile. It's solid. It's lasting. And it's coming now. Do you know, inside your brain is a small region linked to wealth and success, once buried in restricted research and hidden in CIA files. This newly revealed frequency is helping people replace stress with financial ease, and God has guided you here. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brain wave now. You may not have all the words to explain what you've been feeling, and that's okay. I don't need perfect words from you. I just need your heart. Keep it open. Keep it soft. Keep it in my hands. I will do the rest. I will make a way where there was none. I will calm the storm. I will bring the healing. I will answer the prayer you almost gave up on. And when it comes, you will know it was me. You'll know it wasn't luck, or chance, or coincidence. It was love. My love. I saw the way you kept showing up, even with a heart that felt bruised. I saw the nights you stayed awake, trying to quiet the fear that whispered lies. And now, I want you to hear the truth. Your miracle has already begun. It has already been released from heaven, and it's headed straight for you. Type 999 if you believe your blessing is near. So many times, you wondered if you were doing enough, praying enough, believing enough. You questioned your own strength. But the truth is, it was never about being enough. It has always been about my grace. I've never asked you to carry the world on your shoulders. I've never asked you to prove your worth through perfection. I only wanted your heart, and you gave it, even when it was tired. Even when it was hurting. And that is more than enough for me. You see, I work best in the moments when you let go. When you finally stop trying to figure it all out on your own. When you whisper, God, I need you, even if it's the only prayer you can manage. That's when I step in. Not because you failed, but because I've been waiting for you to rest. To lean. To remember that you don't have to be your own rescue. That's my job. That's my joy, to come running when you call, to lift you when you're low, and to show you a love that never runs dry. I know how much you've lost. I know the parts of your heart that you don't talk about anymore. I know the silent griefs, the things that didn't work out, the disappointments that made you question whether good things were still possible. But I never stopped believing in you. And I never stopped working behind the scenes to bring beauty out of what felt like brokenness. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't fallen too far. You're exactly where you're supposed to be for this next chapter to begin. Type 444 if you're ready for your next chapter. There's a stillness I want to give you, not the kind the world offers, temporary and shallow, but a deep stillness, one that settles your soul and silences the noise. That kind of peace doesn't come from understanding everything. It comes from trusting me in the middle of uncertainty. And that's what you've been doing. You've been walking even when the road made no sense. You've been loving even with a heart that was healing. You've been holding on, even if by a thread. And now I'm turning all of it, every tear, every ache, every prayer, into purpose. What's coming isn't just for you. It's going to pour into the lives of others. People will look at you and see the evidence of my faithfulness. They'll see how I restored you. How I turned your waiting into something beautiful. And through your testimony, they'll begin to believe again. That's why the process has been so long. That's why the pain ran so deep. Because what I'm doing in you is bigger than just this moment. It's about legacy. It's about healing generations. It's about awakening hope in others through your life. You've asked me for clarity, for answers, for signs. And while I haven't always spoken in the ways you expected, I've been speaking the whole time, through moments of peace you couldn't explain, through the strength that came when you thought you had none left, through the quiet reminders that somehow, even now, you're still here. That's not by accident. That's grace. That's me. You're going to see it, child, the goodness of God in the land of the living. Not just someday in heaven, but here. In your life. In your home. In your heart. You'll laugh without fear. You'll rest without anxiety. You'll wake up excited again, not heavy with dread. These things are coming. And you'll know when they arrive that it was me, your Father, who never stopped working for you. You haven't wasted time. The years you feel you've lost have not been lost at all. I've been using every second to shape something eternal inside of you, something stronger than pain, deeper than disappointment. You are being prepared for peace. And not just any peace, my peace, which passes all understanding. The kind that steadies you even when life is uncertain. The kind that holds you even when the world shifts beneath your feet. Let go of what you thought it had to look like. Let go of the timelines you created for yourself. Let go of the comparisons that have worn you down. Your journey is holy, even if it hasn't been easy. Your walk is sacred, even if it's been messy. I have never looked at you with disappointment. Only love. Only mercy. Only compassion. And now, I'm calling you to rise. Rise from the fear that's tried to define you. Rise from the shame that never belonged to you. Rise from the mindset that told you it was too late. Because it's not. In fact, you are right on time. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are deeply seen, dearly loved, and divinely guided, not just today, but every single day of your life. So stand in that truth. Even if your hands are trembling. Even if your heart still questions. Stand anyway. Walk anyway. trust anyway. Because this is the season where the heavens declare your miracle ready. This is the hour where breakthrough breathes its first breath. And all I need from you is your yes. Just your yes. Your willingness to believe again. Your openness to receive. Your heart, laid down in quiet surrender, not forced, not pressured, but simply resting in the one who has never let you go. Financial freedom is not about effort, but activating a hidden brain signal once buried in CIA files. Neuroscience shows this sound wave helps attract money and opportunity faster, and thousands are already seeing unexpected income. Click the link in the description and comments now to activate the ancient money wave today. You have been faithful in the unseen places. You've been kind in the quiet. You've held on to faith in seasons where everything around you told you to let go. But you didn't. You stayed close. You kept turning to me. And even when you had nothing left to say, your silence still spoke volumes, because I knew your heart. I heard the words your mouth couldn't find. I felt every tear you didn't have the strength to cry. And I counted each one. Not a single part of your journey has gone unnoticed. Now, I am shifting things. Not just around you, but within you. I'm restoring what life tried to wear down. I'm breathing new life into places that felt numb. You've been living in survival mode for too long, but I'm bringing you into a season of peace, not because you've earned it, but because I love you that much. You don't have to fight for what I'm giving you. You only have to open your hands and receive it. This blessing isn't just a solution to one problem. It's a renewal of your spirit. It's a reminder that I was always here, weaving good things through even the hardest days. The doors that are about to open for you won't be small. They won't be temporary. They won't be shallow. They will be deep, wide, overflowing with joy and healing. You won't have to chase them down or prove yourself worthy. You've already been chosen. Type 1010 if you receive it. You've walked a long, quiet road, and maybe you've wondered if all this waiting would ever lead to something beautiful. I'm here to tell you, yes, it will. In fact, it already is. You may not see it fully yet, but I've been building something strong, something lasting, and now you're about to step into the part of the story where joy begins to rise again. Let the walls you built to protect yourself start to come down. I understand why you put them there. Life has been heavy, and your heart has been through enough. But I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to heal you. I'm not here to demand anything from you. I'm here to give. To pour into the places that are dry. To restore what was lost. To give back what was stolen. And to show you that hope was never foolish, it was always leading you here. Don't let fear convince you that you're not ready. Don't let your past try to whisper shame into your future. What I'm giving you now has nothing to do with what you did wrong. It has everything to do with what Jesus already made right. Grace doesn't look at your mistakes and hold them against you. Grace looks at your heart and says, "Still worthy." That's what this miracle is rooted in. Not your perfection. Your surrender. Your trust. Your willingness to believe that I can still do the impossible. The promise I made to you, the one you've carried so close, it hasn't been forgotten. Time hasn't erased it. Delay hasn't cancelled it. I have been watching over it, tending to it, making sure that when it arrives, it will bless you in ways you never imagined. And it will come when your heart is soft enough to receive it and strong enough to carry it. That time is now. There is nothing ordinary about what's ahead for you. This next season will be marked by joy that overflows, peace that doesn't fade, and blessings that stretch far beyond what you asked for. You've grown through this. You've changed. And that change has made room in your life for something new, something I've had planned from the very beginning. You won't need to strive to keep this miracle. You won't need to constantly look over your shoulder in fear that it might slip away. What's coming is meant to stay. It's been designed by my hands and sealed with my promise. You can stop running now. You can stop bracing yourself for more disappointment. I am not finished with you, and this story doesn't end in sorrow. Let your heart start dreaming again. Let your soul start believing again. There is light up ahead, more than you've seen in a long time. This is not false hope. This is not wishful thinking. This is my word, and I do not lie. The cracks in your heart are not signs of weakness. They're places where the light is about to break through.